And we are back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Michael. The podcast is back.
It's been a long time.
We need to stop these breaks.
It's all you, man. It's all you.
Oh, yeah. It's your busy schedule. You're too busy playing golf.
No. I'm busy working.
Aye, very good. Welcome back, guys. Delighted to be back. We had to do one today. We had to do a podcast today after the events over the weekend.
So good.
Canadian Open, first Canadian champion in 69 years, Nick Taylor. That was unbelievable scenes.
Yeah. To be fair, that Pat Fletcher, not Canadian. He's born in England and then lived in Vancouver. Technically, the last Canadian was like 1914, 1915, but whatever. We'll go with the PGA Tour news.
Was he a member of Toronto Golf?
No, but I was hosted, I think I hosted at Lakeview.
Was it really?
Across the street.
Across the street.
Yeah.
The poor neighbours.
Yeah.
Across the street.
That's right.
Amazing tournament. I would say, obviously, it's an event we look forward to every single year. Every time the PGA Tour stops by your doorstep, it's good times. The start of the week was well and truly overshadowed with LIV news, PGA Tour news, PIF news. But as the week went on, it became about the golf, which I was really pleased to see yesterday. And even as Rory was kind of climbing the leaderboard, and there was some cool stories in amongst it. Obviously, Nick Taylor 63 on Saturday was amazing to see. There was lots of good golf being played. It became about the golf again, which was cool.
Totally. Yeah, I think I tweeted out last night. It's a nice middle finger to the week just for that. Unfortunately, last year, LIV news was during the Canadian Open.
I know.
And this year, PIF and stuff like that. I mean, it does suck. It does drown it out a bit. And the Canadian Open has struggled way back in the day to be an actual event, even though it's one of the longest running events. So, it was a nice cherry on the top for, we have friends in media, and our friend Mark Zecchino, I think that's the best call in sports. He went ballistic. I texted him last night. I said, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And SiriusXM owes him a big bonus because it was nuts.
Yeah. No, I think it was authentic, and it was like these moments are born from emotion. A lot of emotion kind of poured out yesterday. Like, you don't see scenes like what there was next to the 18th green, where it was like Justin Rose, Tyrrell Hatton. There was a bunch of guys out there supporting Tommy. Yeah. And then there was obviously Mike Weir, Hadwin, talk about that in a second, Corey Connors, Mac Hughes. Yeah. Like all those lads. It was like, this was like a major.
And if you see that video, when they all jump up and cheer, our good friend Jordan Klein is right next to Hadwin, who is one of the guys that brought the Canadian Open to Oakdale. But
that is cool.
Yeah, I tried to text him a photo last night, but my fingers weren't working last night.
Yeah, not much was working for you last night.
No, I know. But yeah, it's cool. It was really cool.
It really was. Great moment. And I would say the playoff was running the risk of borderline becoming a bit boring.
Yeah, it was boring. When they went to 9, I was like, you can't win on a par 3.
No.
And then they both hit it kind of a bit not great.
Yeah, needed a couple.
And that 18th hole is not like it's bad. It's just a typical uphill.
I kind of like that, to be honest. Yeah. Like, take driver out the hands and then make it about a 240, 250 yard shot. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it was good. I thought Oakdale looked great. I mean, you were there Friday. I was there Saturday. We were there Tuesday. It looked in good shape. It's a different golf course than what we would play it today. I think the composite course is closed after this week. So, yeah, interesting.
It was neat. Big shout out to Golf Canada. I said in a podcast I done earlier today, it was when I first moved here in 2011, I kind of heard about Golf Canada trying to create this framework to create a conveyor belt of Canadian golfers coming through. Obviously, there was Mike Weir, there was Stephen Ames over the years, but more like at different times, golfers really on their own merits doing well and having success. Never really a foundation or framework that kind of led to that. They have that now. If you look at, 4 winners this year.
I know, it's impressive.
4 Canadian winners. Corey Connors, unbelievable golfer now. He literally genuinely feels like he's one of the top 20 players in the world now. He's just ball striking machine.
Out of all the Canadians, and no offense to the Canadians, he would be my major pick. I mean, he's a ball striker.
I mean, how many times has he had, third or kind of second to third round kind of like leads or right in amongst it? Yeah. I mean, he's a ball striking machine when the courses get tough. Mackenzie Hughes, local lad,
Uh-huh.
you know, winning this year. Adam Svensson got a win this year. And now obviously Nick Taylor, number 4.
Yeah.
4 winners.
Impressive. Hadwin, time to step it up, pal.
I know. Well, I mean, how hungry is he going to be now?
My God.
You know, he's probably the biggest name of the group, because he's, you know, Mr. 59. He's won, you know, a few times out in tour, twice. At least
I think
a couple.
I thought it was one. Valspar, way back in the day.
I thought he won one recently. I think it was one or two. But, you know, he's doing really well under Mark Blackburn's tutelage. So it's just great to see. And I'm so excited. We know the people who are involved with junior golf. And I just hope that that's kind of spurring on the junior leaders, the junior golfers to kind of produce more moments like that yesterday. I
was saying last night, as a golf industry guy, like, to me, this is like the least winning Stanley Cup. The Jays winning the World Championship, the Raps winning NBA championships. I mean, it's big for golf. It's big for golf in Canada. We'll see it. For sure, we'll see it.
We will do.
Especially junior golf. That's the biggest thing.
And it's important to capitalize in these moments, because momentum in anything ebbs and flows.
Totally.
Right now, there'll be momentum, right? So we've got call it a mid-June victory for a Canadian golfer, and we're going into major week next week, Open Championship. Kids are about to leave or finish up school for the summer. Get them on golf courses.
Golf courses are going to be busy.
Get the kids out there. Hopefully they saw that over the weekend. I know growing up as a kid, all I wanted to do was whatever sport was on TV. Right. So the first week that we were off school, I want to say Wimbledon was on. So everybody had their tennis rackets out, right? It was brilliant. Queen's tournament beforehand, then Wimbledon. Then the golf clubs came out because it was open week, second, third week in July. So I just hope that a lot of young kids saw that yesterday, their families watching, dads, mums, whoever else, big brothers, sisters, and they want to play golf now. Because they saw those scenes and they're like, I want to do that. I want to be the next Nick Taylor. And, you know, I just think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, no, it was Canada's finally on top. It's nice.
Very, very cool to see.
No offense, Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, 119 starts and the guy doesn't
really
have a
good point.
Win in North America. And there was a couple guys. I watched the final at the golf course yesterday. Guys cheering on Fleetwood. And I get it. Like, if there was someone else in Fleetwood, then okay, I'd be going for Fleetwood. But for Canada to finally do it is pretty damn impressive.
Me too. I definitely, in my mind, confirmed it over the weekend because he hit a lot of them. Tommy Fleetwood hitting a long iron might be my favourite single swing in golf.
Yeah.
When he hits a 3-iron, and he hit a bunch of them, 3 or 4-iron, like that golf swing, when he hits that tight draw with that long iron.
So good.
I just don't think it gets any better now. He's got that kind of slightly abbreviated finish. I love everything about it. And I wouldn't pick another player out there to make a single golf swing than that one.
That's a good point. The playoff, it was cool to see. There were some shots that both of them hit.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, the pressure's really getting to him. Fleetwood kind of leaves it in the rough. 28 feet, he's got to get up. I mean, the rough at Oakdale was thick. I mean, US Open quality, thick.
Totally.
You know, Nick Taylor hits that kind of, I mean, I think he almost topped that 3-wood. He just kind of like scuzzed it up the
low heel, skanky low.
I mean, I do that on a Sunday morning. He should not be doing. He should not be doing it. And a Tuesday.
And a Wednesday.
All right. Right. Rude. Anyways, it was good to see that they are human.
It was. They are human. From an equipment perspective, I did think it was interesting that Nick Taylor seemed to have better tools than Tommy Fleetwood for the job on 18. It seemed like Fleetwood didn't quite have a club that would get him down into the right kind of area to hit a 5-iron in.
Yeah, good point.
And kind of, he seemed like, I think he's carrying a mini driver. He's obviously got a driver. Seems like he's got a bit of a gap in there. So I'm watching that with interest. That, you know, a couple of times I saw Tommy didn't have the right setup in there for that course. But we all know players of that level, they're not building their bags for week to week PGA Tour events. They're building it for major championships.
Totally. And I mean, for them, I think Oakdale played 7,200 par 72 or something like that.
Right.
So it's not crazy long for these guys.
Yeah.
Also, the manufacturers don't come up, so it's not like the guys can run to a truck and go, "Hey, I actually need
this
hybrid," or whatever he needed to fill that gap.
Tommy, if you need a little help next year, pal, if you're struggling at Hamilton next year and you don't have the right setup,
we'll help you.
TXG, club champion, come see us. We'll help you out.
Yeah.
US Open this coming week.
Impressive. I'm
LACC.
excited. A course that hasn't been seen on TV much. I mean, Walker Cup was played there. There's a lot of guys this week who played in that Walker Cup that are playing this week that I'm going to put some money on those guys because they know the course. But a course like LACC, it's a bucket list course for me to play. It's a bucket list course for you to play.
Yeah.
For the public to see it on TV, it's going to be pretty impressive.
I didn't realize, I mean, obviously prime real estate right in the middle of LA. I didn't realize they had 2 courses.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's wild to me.
And it's like 20 minutes from Riv.
Uh-huh.
The Playboy Mansion is on one of the holes. It's closed now.
We're in town Wednesday night.
But yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, the history, it's old. The clubhouse looks cool. I mean, we will be there Wednesday.
We will.
To walk it and see it. Be nice to be there and play it instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited. My last major, cross out off the list.
Yeah,
I've been all of them.
Been to Masters and Open. Yeah, I've not been to a PGA.
Really?
I've not been to a PGA or have I been to a US Open? No. I don't think I've been to a US Open or PGA.
Yeah, this is the last one for me.
Yeah.
Well, not the last one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not dying or anything.
Please don't. It'll be cool to see it. Who's your form horses going into it?
Max.
Yeah. West Coast boy.
West Coast boy. Did well.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just... If I could only have one pick right now, it would be Max, and I'm a huge Scotty Scheffler fan. I think he's a bit hungry for one.
So, looking at the stats the other day, his long game stats, and not just obviously where was the last Memorial? His long game stats on that Sunday were ridiculous, right? That one off. His long game stats for this year are insane.
Insane. But that Memorial one, I think, skewed it a bit because he hit a drive. I don't know what hole it was. He hit a drive like 365 to 370 or something like that. And he had like flip wedge in. I mean, come on. Sign me up.
I know. He's just kind of developed obviously like a strength of his long game that's distance, accuracy. You know, he hits the driver really pretty straight. His club head speed has went up 3 miles an hour in the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, maybe 2 years. It's went up quite a lot. You know, his iron play's good. He has the most horrendous looking footwork. I just can't watch the guy swing.
Yeah, it works.
Honestly, I saw somebody do comparison when he was a college golfer. Great looking swing. The arm swing and the body motion looks the same. The feet just didn't do the funky things they do now.
Interesting.
I think that's force though. I think that's ground force. I think his feet start dancing about because he's producing so much more force now. Yeah. So, and we all know when we get on, you know, swing cat and pressure plates, kind of the objective is to make our feet dance a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? If we start, you know, using the ground more, that's what ends up happening. We get happy feet. So, you know, it's interesting for him to see speed go up and the footwork completely change. You know, at the moment of impact, it looks great.
Yeah.
If you crystallize it in that second, but when you watch it in motion, it's like, is he going to do himself an inch? Just snap his ankle?
Patrick Reed had funny footwork too, but I mean,
he's just a funny guy.
Yeah, no offense, Patrick, man. Who cares?
I know.
But yeah, I mean, if it works, do it. It'd be cool to see him actually hit a few balls on Swing Cat. I mean, I'm sure it's been registered somewhere or something like that.
For sure.
Probably in the database
he would
or
have
something.
some interesting sort of motion on there. It'd be cool to see because like he's very non-traditional. Like you mentioned Homa, right? Like footwork, impeccable footwork.
Perfect. Yeah.
You could tie string around his ankles and like he would work within that zone and have the right kind of pressure at the right times. What do you think Max Homa's average club head speed is with a driver?
He's quick, isn't he? You'd see like...
Well, I thought he was efficient. I didn't think he was that quick, but it turns out he's actually is quite quick.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Because his ball speed's generally like 173, 174.
It'd be in and around that for sure. What do you think?
Ooh,
average.
Man. I'm trying to think.
Putting you in a spot here.
Faster than me?
Slightly.
Faster than 90 miles an hour?
Slightly.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. 108, 110?
120.
Oh. Trackman.
So 123 quad. I mean, that's moving it.
That's quick. Holy moly.
So we done it in Fathers of Fitting on our podcast there earlier today that we recorded. Cassie does these 3 questions at the end of it. It's like, okay, someone's club head speed, someone's, like other stat today was putting. Who's I know it was Max Homa's putting. How many putts per round does he have? And then it was how many Twitter followers does Homa have? And when she said 120 TrackMan, I guess 117. I thought he was quick.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I thought he was more efficient.
Right, yeah.
But 120 is shifting it.
Yeah, he's moving it.
That's kind of like,
and he's not a massive dude.
No, he's not. And everything for him is like he says, he might hit one draw a week.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a fade for him. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
JT must be way up there then.
No, less than that. JT would be slightly less than Homa.
I'd like to swing it like Max.
I would as well. We all would, I think. I think I'd love to see Ricky this week have a good week. I think he's playing well, top fives. This year he's been a machine.
West Coast boy.
Super, super consistent. I'd love to see him have a good week. The rough looks wild. Did you see some of the things last night? People dropping balls in the rough. Yeah. And it's just like, how are they going? I don't know how they're going to find them. Obviously spotters, but
yeah.
It looks crazy.
It's insane. It's too much.
I think that stuff's a bit hokey.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You're right. I mean, I showed you a photo of some rough the other day, and I was like, "Oh, look at the rough at LACC," and you're like, "Holy moly!" Like, that's actually my home club. Yeah, it's juicy everywhere.
I don't like it.
It's too much.
I love them. That's why one of the reasons I love the Masters. Like, I want rough to get between club and ball. I don't want you losing your ball. I don't like when you can't see, the ball.
I was standing on 18 on Saturday. We're trying to get to the rink just to see it. And Brian Gay is hitting up and he's in the left rough and he's making these practice swings. And when I say he's taking grass, like he's taking turf out of it, right? And he hits his ball and you just watch it get up and it has no spin on it whatsoever. And it just kind of basically falls down. It kind of gets to the front of the green and he just shakes his head at his caddy and he's like, I'm not strong enough for this turf. And everyone kind of started to laugh. And I'm like, I would not get the ball out. I'd have to punch out sideways. And I'd be lucky if I got it out sideways.
When, I think it was at Oak Hill, where the PGA just was. I'm trying to think, one of the players, and they were asking him like what they thought the average 10 handicapper would shoot. It was Billy Horschel, and they said what would the average 10 handicapper shoot? And he said somewhere between 130 and 150. And we're like, what? And it's like people don't know how to play out this type of rough. There's a very specific way to hit it. You got to be obviously very steep. Keep the club face open. Grip pressure high. People just wouldn't get the ball. They wouldn't advance it. They would just it'd be 3 shots trying to get it back into the fairway every time they done it.
Yeah, no thanks. Super
hard. So it's a whole different challenge altogether. So you're saying Max.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you say I mean, I love that. I love the Max pick to be honest, but
it's a pretty easy pick too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think he's good for it. I'm going to say, who am I going to say? I'm going to say Scheffler and have my outside money be on Ricky. I would say those are my two ponies.
I wonder, I mean, I know he won't be playing, but I wonder if we'll see Tiger broadcast walking around doing something.
No, he was on crutches.
I know, but he can crutch around the broadcast booth.
The next time you see Tiger at an event will be when he's playing at an event. I don't think he thinks about things that way anymore.
I know, but it's LA.
Are you just in this wee magical Mikey world that you've got going on in your head? You want to see a wee Tiger?
I miss Tiger.
So when he announced that he went for that surgery, that latest surgery, and they reported it was going to be a 12-week recovery, roughly. I remember looking at it at that time, going, okay, when does that mean he's recovered by? Guess what week is the end of week 12?
Open week
at Hoylake. I think that's why that time he's like, okay, let's go get it done. If I recover faster, I know I can walk Hoylake. It's flat. It's going to be baked out, so it's not a distance game. It's going to be I've won there before.
Yeah, it will be baked out. It's hot over there right now.
Did you see? I saw some pictures of it today. Brown. It is brown.
Giddy up.
Burnt yellow. Call it that. I mean, it is it's perfect. It is perfect links right now. I think it was Rory was kind of talking about it, saying conditions wise, he's like, it is literally perfect there. So I mean, he's obviously trending himself with his game, and he'll be looking forward to getting back there. I think that's where the major run starts for him again. I think at Hoylake. I think Rory wins at Hoylake and wins the Masters next year.
Bold.
Putting it out there, folks. There was a little small other bit of news going on in the world of golf earlier in the week, Michael.
Maybe
PGA Tour, LIV,
I mean,
DP World Tour being taken over by PIF.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the players that didn't take the money. I mean, you can't predict that, but a guy like Rory to walk away from an offer, and I know he doesn't like where the money's coming from.
Number.
But I mean, if it was me, I could care less where the money's coming from. In a very polite way. I mean, that money's everywhere, so it doesn't matter.
It is everywhere. I mean, I think if you have taken the moral stance at some point that it's blood money, and you go from being like, it was one thing for you to say like, I don't care. It's not that you don't, like, everyone cares about these atrocities when they happen in the world, but it's just like, if you turn your attention to that's, Saudi money's blood money, do you know where Saudi money goes? Do you know where it flows around the world? Do you know the other things that are influenced by Saudi money? That's what I always say. It's like, I hate everything that, has happened with regards to terrorism or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Horrendous. But unless you're willing to dig deeper than the surface layer, understand what that means, then I don't do that, and I haven't done that, and I'm not going to do that. I don't have enough time to do that, to dig that deep.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it from a surface level as a golfer and as a golf industry person. Do I like the way this has went down? No, not one bit. My problem with LIV was not the Saudi money. I just hate the product.
Yeah.
I hate 54 holes. Can you imagine? I was thinking about it yesterday. The crescendo that was that finish to the Canadian Open. And you couldn't get that because you've got somebody finishing on the 8th hole, someone finishing on the 9th hole, the leaders.
That's a good point. Yeah. It's not golf.
It's not golf. And yesterday, golf was all about the rise of energy towards one place, which was, the 18th hole and then the playoff where it just burst out in emotion.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that. You don't know if you're going to get that with LIV.
No. And I think I watched the CNBC interview with Monahan and this PIF guy, and I just think Monahan's two-faced for what he did. Totally. I think the guy should have resigned Tuesday afternoon after his players meeting, because for the amount of crap that he said over the last year, basically the same stuff Rory was saying. I hate this, I hate that, I don't believe in that, I don't believe in that. To now he's having lunch in London with these boys, I know. High tea with the king, going, "Oh, this is great." Yeah. Like, come on, that's not right.
I just think, having made the decision without any correspondence with the players committee, sort of.
Exactly. Why have a committee if you don't ask them? And the other thing too is when I read the tweet that, whether it's true or not, that Tiger didn't even know.
Yeah.
Or that, his agent, Mark Steinberg didn't know. If those two don't know, then this is like, White House secrets, basically.
Well, like, you hear Rory, Jimmy Dunn called him the night before.
Yeah.
On the Monday night to tell him, listen, and Monahan's not even had the balls to pick up the phone himself.
Yeah.
And to the guy who's really been the face of the anti-LIV campaign, and we're trying to strengthen the PGA Tour. We believe in the history and the lineage of the game. And, McIlroy backed Jay Monahan.
Big time.
Jay Monahan did not back Rory McIlroy.
Any of
the players. So, and when we kind of talk about McIlroy, I feel bad for Rory, didn't take the money. It's not really about money for Rory.
No.
Right? But when you talk about hundreds of millions,
it's
always about money.
Yeah.
We were talking about the other day, Tiger, Hideki, and Rory, basically it's $1.5 billion.
Yeah. John Rahm and Will Zalatoris was it 2.5 or something?
Yeah, between those guys.
Yeah.
So you're in the territory towards $2 billion of sign-in fees. And those guys went, no, PGA Tour is where where my future lies. I just think it's completely wrong the way they dealt with it.
Yeah, I will say last year, at the Canadian Open, I'm sitting in the clubhouse, player dining. and there's few players that, big, decent names.
Yeah.
And Monahan is walking up to these guys, patting them on the back. Hey, thanks. I can't hear the conversation, but he's definitely saying thanks for your support. For sure, that's what he's saying, because those guys were there. They weren't LIV guys, right? And to see what he did last Tuesday is just like, I don't know how the guy sleeps at night, but I don't think it's right. And that Jimmy Dunn, like, unfortunately, I know he had like threats to his family and stuff like that, which isn't clean. And obviously you don't want it to go that far, but Monahan, I just think it's dirty what he's done.
If you look at the landscape, and obviously more details have come out now, and if from a business perspective, you've got Eddie Hurley, you've got Jimmy Dunn and Monahan who are kind of like sitting together trying to make, like, I look at it now and go, I'm not saying you made the wrong decision. I don't know if it's the wrong decision because we don't know all the details yet. I just hate the way they went about it. I think in time there'll be some good things about it. And I think Rory had some perspective, which was amazing to me. He had that perspective going, yeah, I think this will be good for the game of golf in the long run. How he's summed up the positivity within him, where he's obviously felt like he's been kicked in the stones by King Kong.
Totally.
Totally. I mean, that's a tough one to swallow. Again, Tiger, Tiger's he probably won't make double digits in terms of the amount of PGA Tour events he'll ever play in his lifetime again. So it's not about him, but I think it's about the future of the game for Scheffler and Rory and Rahm and the other players coming through, the young pups coming through that are, going to be the next faces of the game. Look after those guys. I just can't believe you wouldn't take them, get them all together, Zoom call, something. Teams,
group text,
whatever, guys, emergency call. Need to give you a heads up. This is what, and this is why, and we really think we're preserving, the kind of best interests of the game, best interests of you guys, blah blah blah. And then you just can't turn around and say all that BS about, LIV is this, Saudi money's that, and then go, oh, in fact, we actually are good with it.
Yeah, I mean, prep him, and then that way Rory could have still looked like the front runner to say, well, the news broke and other players didn't know, but, it's actually, this is what we're working towards.
I know.
If it was a this rather than they, it would have made the week a lot easier. But we were there Tuesday, mid-morning, afternoon, and it was quiet, and it was the topic. It was the main topic. You were trying to help a player. We were doing some putting stuff, and everyone was just like, what do you think? What do you think? It was like, well, no one could concentrate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was interesting, but thankfully, again, which is always the most important thing, golf had its final say on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, right? The golf had its say, and, we had a great champion. It was a great week. People in time are not going to remember last week for that was the news that came out that week. That moment on 18th green in the fourth playoff hole from 72 feet will be immortalized in Canadian golf history. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing for me when it comes to this LIV conversation is you love the history of the game. I love the history of the game. I hate the thought of them kind of completely changing the history of our sport. Some people might not like our sport. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's lots of other ways to, you like F1, right? There's the race is the race. Leave the race alone. That for me is the 4-round event. Leave the race alone.
Totally.
But you can have the sprint challenges. You can have different things like that. Add fun things to it or different things to it. I'm all about that. In a certain way, like not a lot of people know about cricket, but the Indian Premier League cricket, they have players from all different walks of life and nationalities coming together to create these super teams. I love the idea of that at certain times. But leave the lineage of the game alone. Right. The four majors, the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup, all these types of things. Leave that stuff well alone because that's what our sport, the history of our sport has been all about. That's what Hogan stood for and Snead stood for and Palmer. The things that these guys done, to commercially put the golf in the position it's in. And now for people to make decisions based on what is best to line their pockets, I hate that. Yeah. I hate it. And as I say it, I hate it more. It actually burns me to kind of think about it that way. So
like I said, when they let there's guys on LIV that I like watching play golf. DJ Poulter. Sure. I'm a fan of those two guys.
Koepka.
If they come back to play on tour, or whatever this tour becomes, great. Because I miss watching Poulter hit golf balls. I know he didn't win it a lot, but still nice to watch.
Yeah, you want to see Poulter compete.
Yeah.
You want to see him in the mix.
Ryder Cup. Like I really, like we've talked about this, the Ryder Cup.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. I like when Europe wins. I mean, there's a lot of U.S. players that I like, but a Ryder Cup in Europe, it's a dream to go to one.
Yeah.
I feel like I've kind of missed my chance to go see a really good Ryder Cup.
A really good one, because who knows what it's going to look like.
And no offense to the new players, but I just think that Europe might get dummied this year, regardless that it's in Europe, and the fans will be crazy and stuff.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. It's different, but hopefully this money or whatever this becomes is actually better, and we're looking a year's time and go, well, actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the chips are going to fall a certain way, and I just hope the game of golf is intact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the dust settles on this thing.
Yeah,
I just hope the game of golf is intact. A little smattering of new equipment in the marketplace, Michael.
Yeah,
not a lot.
No, Titleist.
Titleist, obviously, I think since the last time we got together on the podcast, they kind of revealed the pictures of the T Series irons.
That's right. Yeah.
We're going to go to California this week and hit them.
Yeah, it's such a long way to go.
I know. What's an inconvenience?
No, I'm excited. I mean, listen, T100, T200 has been probably a #1 selling iron for us in all studios for the last 6 years, or however long T Series has been out. So we know it's going to be good. But I don't know anything else other than that. I would love to know what the 150 stands for.
Yeah.
I play T200 4-iron as like a driving iron, and they were asking us, what do you guys play before we go down? I love that iron. But then you see guys on tour trying new stuff, and I'm like, I need to start tinkering again.
We don't know anything. There's been no technicals, sheets handed out. No. There's just been literally pictures and speculation.
Yeah.
For me, I think I look at like 150 as a bridge club. I don't think 100S was a bridge club, because 100S was a 100 with stronger lofts. To me, 150 speaks a bridge between 100 and 200, obviously, right? So it sits right in between. That I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of people who loved 100 or loved 200, and 100S was still too much 100 for them, T100 to be good for them. Yeah. And T200S, T200 was still 2 game improvement.
Yeah.
A little bit on that, call it that clicky side of things.
You hit a little high in the face and it's just dead.
And I think in there sat Mizuno 223, ZX7. Those types of irons sat where this 150 I think is going to sit. And now I think the 150 is going to be a really high volume product for us. Something I think that will carry a really wide handicap range from, I think we'll see it in pros bags. I think we will see it in, 10, 12 handicappers bags, and then obviously all the way up 200 and 350.
Yeah, it'd be exciting to see if there's some blades and CBs getting a refresh.
Yeah, they haven't announced that
or
yet.
Or concept. Never know.
I know.
A little refreshing concept.
Yeah, they've not told us anything other than these new T series, and obviously there'll be an extension, because we know there was last time in the T100 series, of the wedges being sort of integrated as a line extension of Volkeys and more wedge kind of technology in there. I think that's going to be cool to see, because I think anytime you see the first iteration of a technology like that, I want to see what year 2 looks like, or model 2 looks like in that. I think that'll be fun to see. What else is coming? What else is coming down the pipeline?
I mean, hopefully some new Callaway irons.
A refresh on the Apex, it looks like, later this year.
Yep. Some TaylorMade wedges. They don't have wedges currently.
Yep. MG3's been out for a little bit now.
Yeah.
Ping, I know we've talked about G430 LST. We need to get that and hit it.
Forgot about that.
I know. Well, that's what happens when you kind of like launch a 3-wood separate from the rest of the wood line. It kind of gets lost.
Risky, yeah.
It's lost. So we'll see. And a few other things.
Some new shafts coming out.
Yeah.
I've heard rumblings of some stuff, and you've been testing 10C1K blue.
Yeah.
A couple just came in for me that I'm sure I'll try.
What did you get
this week?
What
couple
did you
things.
Get? Tell me.
1K blues.
Okay.
50S, 50X.
Yeah.
and the 60S is someone's using it at the club right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that 1K blue was nice. I did like it. It get the shoe for me pretty quick. Ended up changing my driver shaft.
Shocker.
What do you think? Guess. What do you think I'm playing?
Outside the Sinister?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're playing, or is it something different? Mitsubishi? Hey.
Nope.
I have no clue.
I'm playing back to Ventus TR blue. 6X. Short.
Ventus red TR was the best. In a TSR3 driver, best I've ever seen him drive the ball, folks.
One good round.
Best I've ever seen him drive the ball. And he didn't make the cut.
Yeah, no.
TR blue, 6X.
TR blue, 6X, 45 inches. I'm away from
it's
the
funny how that's considered short now.
I know. I just...
it feel 45-inch driver feels so much better. Like I had one at 46 and it felt weird.
Yeah.
And now I'm playing 45 again. I don't feel like I've sacrificed any distance, and it feels a million times better.
It really does. I just think the feeling of being able to get a little bit more on top of it.
100%.
I hate the feeling of being stuck in the back foot and flipping at it.
Stuck in the back foot. My back foot's got cement in it.
It really does.
Jeez, oh.
It really does. Yep. So that's a wee change in the driver.
What head?
A little update. I have tried everything again. Since the last time we done the pod or even done any content, I've hit TSR3 again. The weekend I brought out G430 again.
I was going to say, I did not see the security cameras go off at 6 a.m. on Sunday, so this must have been done outside.
Yes, it was outside.
Wow.
Yeah. No, Stealth 2 Plus. I really, really like that driver.
Yeah.
I really do. It feels so good.
It's a nice looking driver.
It is a good looking driver.
Under some nice head covers.
They are gorgeous.
So nice.
I know.
So
they
nice.
really are. To be revealed. We'll reveal the new head covers. Any other changes to your bag?
My fresh grooved wedges are shipping Thursday.
From Artisan?
Yeah. Little redo. That's it.
My only one other change is two iron.
Oh my God.
I put 2 iron as an option.
Strixon.
Yeah. Really nice. I like it a lot.
That's a good driving
iron. It is a good driving iron. Yeah. ZX utility. 1/2 inch short we built it, didn't we? 1/2 inch. I think it was 1/2 inch short. 30. I wouldn't do 39.5. Something like that. Lots of hot melt in it. Lots of hot melt in it to try and get the swing weight up. Ventus blue, pured. It feels so good.
Yeah.
I had it a few times.
Sounds good too. That driving iron doesn't sound high pitched or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I had it a few times in the weekend. Was awfully good. I got to work on my driver.
My God,
driving, not driver. Driving.
Okay. Well, we're playing this week.
We are. Yeah, we'll be playing Crosby Club.
So good. Just wait.
Where is it?
Just bougie. It's nice.
Bougie, Mike.
Yeah. So I can't wait.
You're just
so good.
You're a high society.
Just wait till you see it. You'll be like, yeah, this is for me. It's good.
As long as there'll be Bing Crosby in the background playing while I'm eating my lunch, I'll be quite happy.
Silverwell. Oh, that's not Big Crosby. That's Dean Martin.
You just love to sing it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, guys. Lots to unpack this week. Holy moly. There really was. Canadian
Open.
Week. It was a great week. We're in California and we'll be back. We will be back next week. We're going to try and bank a few episodes because I've got some travel coming up to the UK in the next couple of weeks. So I think when we're back here next week, we'll try and bank a few.
Maybe get a guest.
Let's not promise because
Nick Taylor?
We're trying. You promised me last night.
I know. It'll happen. Before the year's done, it will happen. He'll be on the podcast.
I mean, he's obviously
always busy. Well, so am I.
The tricky part is now he's going to be playing US Open this week. He'll probably head over and play somewhere in the UK prior to the Open Championship.
Scottish Open.
Probably does Scottish Open, and then he's going to play Open. So,
okay, November.
Yeah, we'll try and get him for the off season.
In studio podcast where he brings me a trophy.
That would be cool. You tell the people you can make that happen.
It'll happen. You heard it here first.
Well, is he a red wine drinker? Maybe you can persuade him with some of your good.
I don't drink. I thought
I was going to say I don't share it. That's what you were going to say.
I do.
I drink, but I don't share it.
No, I share.
All right, some guests to be had. We do have David Woods coming on in the next couple of weeks, inventor of the Pro Sender. So that's my favourite training aid right now. I love it.
You love a training aid.
Nothing gets my golf swing into the same positions as that Pro Sender. I had it on at the weekend. I'm like, oh, can I just play golf with this thing on? It's so good.
Aye. We should be doing the podcast at David Woods' place because the connection could be funny sometimes.
Yeah, you like the in-person?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Get the good vibes.
We'll get you into Palm Springs. And
right.
What did you say about Palm Springs the other day?
I've never been, so I can't comment.
Oh, what did you say? No, don't try and take the moral high ground now, Michael. What did you say the other day?
It's a bit old, isn't it?
Aye, you said something a wee bit more derogatory than that.
Well, I don't know, never been. Not yet.
Not yet, but you will be. We will be. We've got 2 reasons to go now. See David Woods.
Yeah.
And see your uncle.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, guys, stay tuned. We'll be back next week. Have a great week and enjoy the US Open.